Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we start commence the program, and here are the following webinar protocol. For each participant ID, please use your real name following with your origin of institution. All of participants are expected to mute the audio and only unmute the video during the event. We cordially invite you to take your own firm and comfort seat in your own room, and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program. Today, I am Nabila from ITS Global Engagement, and I will be your Master of Ceremony this afternoon. Before we start our agenda, let me reinform the webinar protocol to join this event. First, please adjust your name or ID screen using the given format on the slide. Second, during the event, please turn off your audio and only turn on the audio when the moderator gives the chance. Third, turn on your camera. Fourth, ensure that your network has a stable connection. And fifth, adjust the seat positions comfortably and prevent the backlight effect. I will also read some important information for today. First, fill in the attendance form through the link shared in the chat box. And you also need to fill in the feedback form that will be shared in the end of the session. Attendance and feedback is compulsory for these purposes. First, mandatory attendance for ITS Masters and Doctoral students new intake. Second, certificate of participation eligible for international participants who have 80% attendance. And lastly, stamp for it eligible for ITS undergraduate students. Welcome to the Researcher and Research Student Enrichment session today, Thursday, the 2nd of December 2021. You are now participating in soft engineering stream of R2SEP. Please do not forget to fill your attendance at the link that will be sent by our committee via the Zoom chat room. Today's lecture is about presentation skills for the soft engineering stream that will be delivered by our speaker, Dr. Ratna Sari Dewi from ITS. And Ms. Dewi Saktia Ardiantoro will be the one conducting today's session as our moderator. Before we start our agenda, allow me to deliver our schedule today. First, the opening. Second, introduction to moderator and speaker. Third, the lecture session. Fourth, the Q&A session. Fifth, certificate awarding. And finally, the closing of today's session. Next, let me introduce our moderator for today. Our moderator today is Ms. Dewi Saktia Ardiantoro, who is also a lecturer at the Department of Business Management at ITS. He obtained the master degree in industrial engineering at ITS and also the bachelor degree from industrial engineering at ITS. Her research interests include operations management, logistic management, and financial accounting. Okay, now that you are informed about our moderator, without further ado, we will proceed to the main agenda that will be led by Miss Dewi as our moderator. To Miss Dewi, the stage is yours.
Hello, thank you very much, Mbak Nabila. It's my honor to be the moderator for this event this lovely afternoon. So, good afternoon, everyone. As already mentioned by Ms. Nabila, my name is Dewi Saktia, and I'm the lecturer in the Business Management Department. So, in these sessions, I'll be the moderator for this today's topic. It's about the presentation skills. So, the presentation skill itself is a must-have element in college students. So, it's not only about the way we deliver something to the audience, right? But it's also about how to attract the audience to get engaged with the topic that we are talking to. So those in these special occasions, in this in the soft engineering clusters, we are going to learn about how to enhance our presentation skill and how to deliver an outstanding presentation from our great speaker, our beloved lecturer, Dr. Ratna Saridewi. Hello, Bu Ratna.
Hello.
How are you, Ibu?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Yeah, hopefully
Okay.
Dewi also fine.
Yes, I'm doing great as well.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rana Sari Dewi is a lecturer in Institute Technologies 10 November. So, she is actually the senior lecturer in the Department of Industrial and System Engineering. And she is also appointed as the head of the Ergonomics and Work System Design Laboratory in a Department of Industrial and System Engineering, ITS. She got a PhD in Industrial Management from NTUST, National Taiwan University of Science and Technology, Taiwan. And she obtained her master and bachelor degree in Industrial and System Engineering, Institute Technology, Bandung. And her research interest is on the human factors or economics, product design and usability, work system design, and technology management. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'll give the microphone to Dr. Ratnasari Dewi to deliver her insights about the presentation skill. Dr. Ratnasari Dewi, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Dewi, for very wonderful introductions. Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon or good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Okay, first of all, please allow me to share my screen. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can see my screen right now or still processing.
It's coming, Ratna.
It's coming. Okay.
Yes.
Now it's seen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So, okay. Once again, hi, my name is Ratna. As has been introduced by Bu Dewi, I'm a lecturer in Industrial and Systems Engineering Department, ITS. So I believe some of you also students of ISE, right? Industrial and System Engineering Department. So as requested, as planned by the committee for today's session, we'll discuss about the presentation skills. But a little bit disclaimer about this topic. So myself, I'm not the, how to say, it's public speaker expert, or I'm also not consider myself as to say it's like a skillful speaker. So most of the time, I think it's better for us to discuss in two ways, and then we can share to each other our experience. So because my background is actually the same as all of you researchers, basically. Okay, so let us begin with Menti sessions. So, okay, I will open this session with the Menti. So please visit the www.menti.com and use this code. Okay, I will stop share this screen first, and then I'll go back to later on. Okay. Okay, so please access this code 75665263.
Oke, sama-sama Mbak Putri, makasih banyak ya.
Sama-sama Kak.
Ya.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Mas Khalid, monggo di.
What is your biggest, oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
What is your biggest challenge in doing presentations? Okay. First is improvisation. Okay. How to read the room. Okay. Knowing what to say, and if the participant is interested, in my presentations. Supervisor, okay. Yeah, or probably the examiner, right? And then nervous. Okay, to be honest, I'm nervous also now. Okay, and then menentukan kerangka materi, so the structure of the presentation itself, how to engage with the audience. Myself, okay, let's explore more about what happened. And then panic, language use, probably if requested for example, in foreign language. If you need to conduct your presentation in foreign language, that's probably become a challenge, okay? And then how to summarize the idea, tight daily schedules. Maybe because of that, you cannot prepare, or you cannot have any enough time to prepare, probably. Okay, menyajikan materi yang ringkas, padat, dan jelas. Okay, how to present it in, how to say, it's like concise manners, but still clear. Not confidence. Okay, what the important part must be shown on the presentation. So choose which one is the most important among the all important thing that you already conducted, right? For your study. Creativity. Okay, and then delivering something simple and easy to understand. Conciseness. How to make it simple and interesting. Okay, nervous, okay. Compose sentences that easy to understand, not confidence. Okay, how to make interesting presentation slides so it's not boring. Okay, well, I think we already have 27 participants who share their experience about what is the biggest challenge in doing presentations. We will look back to this slide again, to this Menti screen after we cover all the materials, and then we see whether we already address all of the problem. If not, then we will discuss about it further. Okay, so sorry for a little bit hassles because need to change there and here. So I come back to here. Okay. Okay, because today's most of the audience is a researcher, or are the researchers or research students, so I will focusing the discussion about this presentation as the effective scientific presentations. Okay. Okay, let's start with these quotes from Marilyn Larkin. So most of the materials that I discussed today is actually coming from a web page that written by Marilyn Larkin. The title is "How to Give a Dynamic Scientific Presentation." I will give the link in the later slide. So, giving presentations is an important part of sharing your work, right? As a researcher, we need to share, we need to publish. There is a there's a term also, publish or perish. It means that if your research work or the output of your study, you don't publish it, it means that it will become neglected or perish. And achieving recognitions in the scientific communities, particularly, okay, the ability to do effectively can contribute to career success. So that's also important. The importance of doing presentation, because it can support your career success, right? I think most of you during your bachelor or your master degree, and I see some of you came from the professional field, who attend the study maybe in the MMT. So in many occasions you need to do the presentations, right? So the presentation sometimes or most of the time can help you to achieve your success in your career. However, instead of engaging audience and conveying enthusiasm, many presentations fell flat. Okay, so many words here, but I will highlight some of them. So it's kind of tips that we'll discuss later. So we hope that our presentation will gain enthusiasm from the participants. They will curious, they will ask more, or they want to know more about your study, right? But probably many presentations fall flat. Why? Why can fall flat? Because several things. First, probably we explained about overly complicated content. So, we already conducted the study for a long time, maybe a couple semester or 1 semester, 2 semesters. So you got a lot of results and you want to show that you do hard work, you do a great result, then you want to show it at once in your presentations. So it's become complicated. Okay, then monotone delivery. Okay, so it become a boring. I don't know whether you guys feel boring now. Still 2 slides. Okay, the challenge of to avoid how the participant getting bored actually is usually in the later slides, right? Okay, and then the next part is focusing on what you want to say rather than what the audience is interested in hearing. So we focusing in what we want to say rather than what the audience want to gain information, what the audience want to gain the information from us. Okay, so there are 2 essential elements in the presentations, in preparing the presentations. First is the content of your presentations, and secondly is about how you present it. Okay, first of all, we'll start with the content of the presentations. Okay, one aspect in the content is know your audience. Okay, let me close this screen sharing first, and then I want to ask for some of the audience to introduce themselves. Okay, anybody want to volunteer? Want to share what is your background and what is your what is your expectations about the attending this event? Okay, can we do it more interactively? Devi, it's okay, right? We can ask the audience because we're talking about interactive presentation, and I'm to be honest, it's kind of a lecturing session is kind of boring for me.
Yeah, indeed,
Okay.
Buratna.
Yes, so
maybe
okay,
Buratna can pick one of the
One?
participants. Yes.
Okay. Pak Anas, probably. I can see you open your camera. Please, Pak Anas, please introduce yourself and maybe you can share what is your expectations, or what do you want to get by joining the research and research student enrichment program? Oh, hello, Panas. Oh, it's not possible to. Okay. Who else? Okay, Pak Fauzi, probably. Pak Fauzi atau Mas Fauzi? Muhammad Fauzi Anwar.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm starting to join. Sorry.
Oh, you just joined. Okay, no problem. Okay. Anyway, it's okay, Pak Fauzi. So, what is your background? Are you undergraduate or graduate students? Or you are a PhD candidate, probably?
I'm taking a master.
Oh, you're taking a master program. In what department?
Industrial management.
Industrial management. So you're in the same. Oh, industrial management. Industrial management is in the. Is it MMT?
MMT, yes.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, great. So, what your expectations? You already joined how many sessions? But yes, mentioned that this is the 7th session, so you already got the 6 sessions before, and you still 2 sessions to go. So, or you can say what you already learned from the R square SEP program.
Yes, from some season I have missed in the previous session because this is end year in work in my workplace. So there is some audit, some projects. So
I see. Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
There is some time of crashing in time. That's this is I also joined in the season. Yeah, just a reminder from my my peer. That's
oh, join.
time for SIP. Yeah. Don't forget to join. Yes, yeah. So I have recently joined. I'm sorry, Miss.
No problem. No problem.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much for sharing, Pak Fauzi.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me continue. So we need to know who are our audience. So as I understand that the audience of these sessions mainly are researchers and research students. So we need to. So I need to think. Okay, then probably I need to focus on scientific presentations rather than the other or the for general presentation skills. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay. Okay, whether they're your colleagues or they are researchers in a related field, or they're your clients. Sometimes, for examples, you have like consultancy projects, then you need to do the scientific presentations also, because they want you to have like a scientific approach in doing the works. And then whether they are examiners, right? This is maybe the most challenging part for the students because they need to present in front of the examiners. Okay. So why it's important to know your audience firsthand? Because you need to gear your presentations, or you need to customize your presentations to the knowledge level and the need of the audience member. So if they're colleagues or they have the same field with you, maybe you don't need to be that specific or that detailed in explaining several field related definitions, because all of them, they already knew it better. But for example, you need to talk to the general publics, or you need to talk to the clients. You need to, because they need to convince them. Then the way you set the argument, the way you prepare the materials will be different. And of course, for the examiners, because actually the way you present it, the way you present your research is actually is one part that they will assess. That's also will you know, you need to have some preparations. You need to have some preparation before you need to how to say, design your preparations, design your PPT well, and also maybe you need to choose the significant result of your study to be presented, the most influential one in among the other important things, the other important finding in your study that probably the complete list is in your book, in your thesis book, but you need you because of limited time, limited number of the PowerPoint presentation page, then you need to choose which one that you need to show more. Okay. The next thing about the content is tell the audience member upfront why they should care and what in it for them. Why it's important? Because if we try to attract their attentions, right? So we want to grab their attention. We want they will aware about the importance of your study. So we can focusing on, for example, if we in our study we found a new thing, then highlight that one. Do you find a new thing? Highlight the new thing that you collect. And then if for example, do you develop a new models, you can say that, oh, the study is for developing a new models, and the new model is well implemented in these situations or in this context and so on. So you can highlight the most significant result and then wrap it into interesting thing, in interesting way, so people will feel connected to your presentations. Okay, and then maybe this is, we can say, as the outline or the content of your presentations. Tell your story. Of course, in the story, it has beginning and the middle part and the end. So you can start with what problem will you work to solve. You can start with the background of your study, and then particularly what is the main problem that you want to address. Or people say we need to have this problem statement. And then what are the goals of your study? What method you use? And of course, you need to give them the reason why you choose that method. And then what are your major findings? And what are the conclusions? So this is like the outline of the story of your study or your research. Particularly, this pointer is kind of the main part that you need to present in reporting the study in the defense usually, whether it's for thesis defense or for the dissertation defense. Okay. The next suggestion is keep it simple. So be clear on new or difficult or unfamiliar terms. So we need to define it clearly, provide definitions in case that there are a new term, or we particularly we invent the new term, or we want to introduce the new term. So it's very important to have the definitions, to provide the definitions. Okay, and in suitable occasions, such as, for example, in conferences, convey your excitement. So what is conveying our excitement? So it's mean that make the research become personal for you. So you can say what is your experience or what experience you gain. What do you feel after, for example, completing the whole study? what so you like you sharing you're sharing what do you feel, what do you understand, what the new thing that you learn after you conducted this study. So in a by sharing this kind of excitement or sharing this kind of personal experience, hopefully this kind of excitement is also delivering to the audience. So make your work come alive. So it will make our work come alive. Okay, not only like this mentioned here, helps the audience member relate to it and emotional levels. It's not only about, okay, I understand you think, but also I can feel the same way as the speaker say. That's okay, that's the important about conveying our excitement in our presentations. Okay, let's move on to the second aspect in presentation is about how we delivering it. So we know the content, we prepare the content, and then now we discuss about how we delivering it. It means that because we are the presenters, we talk about you or we talk about me for now because I'm the presenter. Okay, first of all is set the stage. Okay, set the stage. Get your equipment ready and run through the slide as possible. So you do some, like rehearsals if possible. So you need to, for example, for Zoom meeting like now, you can open all the important slides that you want to show, you want to share to the audience. So you don't need to open the file explorer and find looking for some files that deep down on the layers. Will take time, right? So set the stage. We open all the important files that we want to share. Okay. Second is get ready to perform. Get ready to perform. So how to be get ready in performing presentations? First of all, the most important part is to know your line and subject, right? And particularly in research or in study, we are the one who do it, right? I mean, if we do by ourselves, we mostly know we are the ones who understand more regarding the subjects, right? So we don't need to worry, but just focusing on what is our finding, how we conduct the research. So we need to focus in our lines and subjects. Okay, if we have a chance to practice, focus on the key points. So you don't need to remember word by word, because if you forget, if you remember word by word, if we forget, then maybe we'll make more nervous, right? We will be more nervous. So we think we need to just remember the key points and try to improvise. Okay, about improvising, okay, the one that mentioned by the participants before in the Menti, yes, improvising is not, if I can say that it's not coming, it is based on our experience. If you do more presentations, then you know how to improvise it. So it's a kind of practice make perfect thing. And the other way to explore how to improvise our materials is to see or to watch the speakers, the other speakers. I mean the as examples. So we can it's not copy 100%, but we can adapt to their style. For example, we can adapt the way he or she improvise their materials and so on. And don't forget to breathe slowly and deeply for a few minutes before you talk and do affirmations that actually that okay, I need to present it. I want to present it, and everything will be okay. Something like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is for, of course, it's not for Zoom meeting. So, but if you have the offline presentations, you can, when you present it by standing, then you need to stand tall, okay, not crawl. So you need to stand tall and keep your chest lifted. It will help you also in speaking clearly. Okay, and last one is smile. Don't forget to smile. Although it's scientific presentations, although this is a scientific presentations, you know, there is no regulation that you cannot smile, right? So you always can smile in scientific presentations to help you and the audience more relaxed, and they can follow the presentation well. Okay. Okay. Another things about the PowerPoint slide tips. First of all, less is more. So don't prepare too many slides, because if we prepare too many slides, probably we will, you know, we will run out of time. So 20 up to 25 slides maximum for 1 hour presentation is a kind of rule of thumb that you can use as the general guidelines. And then create sections. Yeah, one of the audience in the Menti mentioned about how to structuralize our presentations, right? Basically, for scientific presentations, it's acceptable to set the sections following the sequence of your study report. You can always start with the background of your study, and then you choose, or you can state what is the research statement, your research problem, what actually the main goal of your study, okay, some limitations, and then you go over some important literature study that will support your study, and then you can go to the methodology. You can go to the methodology. You can explain in detail about how you collect your data, for example, how you collect your data, how you develop the model, what references you use, and so on. And after that, you can report your results, and you conclude all the findings of your study. So basically, for presenting a research result or a research study, the sections can follow the sequence of the study itself. And the other suggestion is avoiding to make your PowerPoint become cluttered. So it's mean too many words in one slide. Stick to 3 to 5 bullet point. So it won't too many. Then use visuals, pictures, graphic, diagram. It will be help, and make it readable. Don't write in very small font. Make sure it's about 28 to 40 points if possible. Okay, and then some do spell checks is also important, particularly if you have your presentations either in English or in Indonesia, because sometimes I also see some students, although they present in Bahasa Indonesia, they still made some mistake in spelling. So please pay attention about these issues regarding the spell check. Okay, that's about our visual aids. Now about our gestures. Okay, there's some gestures no in doing presentations. Okay, it's been that these pointers you need to avoid in doing it in presentations. First of all, please avoid of leaning or gripping the podium or microphone. Yeah, so for usually for offline presentations, there's a podium that prepared for us or a standing microphone, and we always holding it or it's leaning on the podium. So it's better for not doing so. Okay, rock or sway in place or stand mobile. It's also it's not a good gestures. It will distract the audience. Okay, or use a single gesture repeatedly. For example, like pointing and always doing so repeatedly many times during your presentations. It's also better to avoid. And then examine or bite your fingernail or crack your knuckles, like what I'm just doing. It's better for avoiding it in your presentation. Probably you're not realizing it, so you need to practice. You need to. It's also better to rehearse some. You do some rehearsals and take recording because now using Zoom is easy, right? You can record your rehearsals, presentations rehearsals, and then you can you can watch it and then see whether we still do, for example, see our nail or crack our knuckles without we realize it. Okay. We also we also need to avoid that we sometimes we crossing our arms in front of our chest, okay, and using our pointer or clicking our pointer, our pen, or even pencil. You know, I couldn't do it, but some people can do it, right? Like you know, like circling our pencil or pointers. Tighten your tie or play with the other part of our clothes. This may be for the gentlemen. They if they want to or they want to start the presentations, or they want to start to start to answer while thinking without realizing, then tighten our tie, or doing other things with our clothes. So it's better to avoid it. And jangle chains or key in your pocket. Some of the male, usually I see it from male presenters, they like to they put their hand in their pocket, in the trousers, and if they have the key on it, and then you're juggling, and yeah, it will be disturbing or distracting at least. Okay. Yes. Then I will proceed with the how to deal with the question and answer sessions. Okay. So first of all, as the presenters, we need to be positive regarding the sessions. Maybe the sessions become terrifying somehow, because we like we feel like we are in the middle of the test, right? And people start the questioning about the whole study that we did. But we need to be positive regarding these sessions in order to pass the session smoothly. So how to become a positive regarding the question and answers? First of all, we can mind ourselves that this session actually is the beginning of the whole new interactive presentations. Like that's why maybe I will be. I love the question and answer session after I end my presentations for next couple slides. Why? Because now I'm just one way presentation, right? I just one way presentations. So question and answer will be like the beginning of interactive presentation. This is not the end of our presentation yet, but this is the interactive presentation. And then it's become the opportunity for us to make a point. If the participant is quite critical, they can highlight the important part of our study. So in the same time, we can make a point. We can make a highlight on the major finding in our study. That fortunately the audience can grasp it and discuss further in question and answer sessions. And most of presentation are one or less here, but yeah, maybe this is just a note for us, but don't be too, you know, it's become additional nervousness for us as presentations. Yeah, particularly for us if we delivering our research, our study in the presentations. If we conducted by ourselves, we know that there is some limitation in our study. You don't need to worry. We just we just address the limitations of the study. If maybe we could not answer it now, we can answer it later. There is an ABC rule later. I have one slide regarding this. Okay. And also anticipate lines of questioning. So when you preparing your materials, you also can expect that, oh, okay, probably this part will raise several questions, so you can anticipate it before. And then don't rank questions. For example, you say that, after the one participant asks a question, and then you say that, oh, I don't think that's very reliable questions or very qualified questions. Don't do that. So don't rank questions. Keep answers brief. Don't be too long. Usually, as also there's time limitations in the stations, right? And also, it's better to gather more questions. And then be honest if you don't know the answer yet, then it's okay. You always can say that it's you have not studied about it yet, and you will plan to do it in your future study. That's also okay. Okay, and then clarify questions if you think that probably you need to make sure that you understand the questions well. Defer to expert. You can if you know there are experts that better can answer the questions, you can suggest the participants to contact the expert, or probably the expert are in the same panels with you. You are in the same sessions or in the same presentation sessions. For example, usually in conferences there usually there is several parallel room, right? Or several main stations, so you can recommend to the participant who asking that difficult questions to attend the specific sessions of the experts. Okay, and then move your eyes off questionnaire. So, okay, this is the gestures regarding the gestures. Although there's one person who asks you the questions, but your answers actually is beneficial for the other audiences also, right? So you don't need to be focusing or only seeing that the person who asks questions, but you can always, after you said thank you very much for your question, you always can move your eyes to the other participants. And then if negative and your response focus in someone else, it means that, for example, their question is kind of negative. You try to answer, but it seems that they or he or she still not as satisfied with our answer and keeping asking there, then you can say that you can end your response. You can mark that, okay, this is I think this is the this is my answer, this is my explanations, and you can invite for other people to ask. So don't spend too much of time in addressing only one question. Okay, and particularly about this, we should not argue with the members of the audience. So for example, we have different point of view. It's okay. We can always appreciate in both way. In both this difference, this various point of view is welcome. We don't need to argue. We don't need to prove that our point of view is better or the best. Yeah, it's not necessary. We can have some further discussions or more personal sessions if we want to discuss more. But in in occasions, in presentation, in a setting, it's better for not argue with the audience. You can explain as much as you can, but if after sometimes it seems that there is some like conflicting argument, it's better to it's like lower your pride a little bit, and then we can move to other participants and invite the other participant to ask questions. Okay, so as easy as ABC, if we couldn't answer the question, so we can say that I can answer, I cannot, I can answer that questions because what? For example, because maybe we have not studied about the variables yet in our current study, for example, but I can tell you, this is a very interesting issue or interesting topic or interesting factors that we can discuss in the next study, or maybe you can invite them to join like collaborative study in the future. So this is the way ABC is the formula in handling difficult questions. Okay, yeah, I think this is the end of my presentations, Bu Dewi. So because it's really the question and answer is part of the presentation also, so maybe it's better for us to discuss more and sharing to each other our experience regarding doing presentations in this question and answers. So this is the further readings. If you want to read about the materials that I just delivered to you, and then thank you very much. Get back to you, Bu Dewi.
Thank you very much, Bu Ratna, for the wonderful presentations about how to enhance both in the content of our presentations and also how the way we present our topic or our materials. Well, Bu Ratna, actually we have some questions already pop up in the link provided by the committee. But before I read the questions, I would like to offer directly to the participants to raise your hand and open your microphone, because it's a part of the presentation skill as well. So we can like have some practice, right?
Yeah. This is like kind of a practice, yes.
Okay, anyone? Or maybe some participants that already put your questions. Ibu Sri, Bapak Ivan, Bapak Zafirin, maybe you want to ask directly. Please feel free to open the microphone. Okay, Pak Zafirin is here.
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, I do have a question, but I forgot the full question because I already posted it on the Q&A forum. Can you help me?
The question. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Hi, Pak Zafirin. We met again.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. Well, Bu Ratna, Pak Zafirin actually have some questions.
Okay.
Well, I will read one by one. So the first question is, about the ranking questions. So you mentioned about ranking questions. So what does it mean? Maybe one by one, or
oh yeah, it's better one by one because I forget easily, Bu Dewi. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Thank you, Bu Ratna.
Okay. So for rank the question is when we grade the question from the participants. We, for example, after sometimes the audience they don't have the same level of understanding about our topics, right? Some of them are quite familiar, some of them very familiar, some of them maybe is okay. What is it? Like a very new topic for them. So probably for the people who think that the topic is kind of new, they will ask, for example, a very basic questions, and we as the presenters could not rank it, could not say that, oh, okay, this is like, oh, your question is kind of basic, for example, like that. So we give like, oh, this is good question, this is bad questions, or kind of not appropriate question. Don't mention it. Every question is good question. Every question is wonderful questions. That's the mean by don't rank your question. Don't rank the questions.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. But isn't usually the speaker would after hearing the question, he or she would say like a good question, and then he or she would explain. But isn't that a kind of encouragement to the person who is asking?
Yes, it is. So rank it means that you have a good, a bad, or good, not that good or bad. So every question should be good questions for us as presenter. We need to appreciate all the questions that come to us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Ratna. And then the next questions are from Pak Zafirin as well. So we as the speaker, what about your opinion, Bu Ratna? How long does it take, the appropriate time to think about the answer? It's maybe the questions was very difficult, and how long does it take? Maybe we need 1 minute, 5 minutes, or what should we do as the speakers?
Yeah, that's it's sometimes it's really depend, right? Depend on the question, depend on the occasion, whether you still have time to think or no. But yeah, but well, if in several occasions, for example, so maybe we can contrast between two occasions. First of all, if you attend a conference, and the other one if you present in front of the examiners, if you have a defense, for example. So if a defense, usually the examiners they will demand you to answer their questions, right? And it's really depend on the style of the examiner. Some of them, they have many questions, like several questions, and then they will mention all of them. In that situations, you can take some of while listening to the other. Like for example, they have 5 questions. Then you can address the ones that easier to answer for you first, and later on you can move to more difficult question. It will give you more time to think, right? Okay, and for the conferences, particularly they usually also collecting questions first, and that's also a good chance for you to think about the answer first before answering. But if not, then you can decide. Maybe it's not as long as 5 minutes, I believe. It's too long because the presentation itself, usually in conference, you only have 10 minutes to present, and then the question and answers probably is around 3 to 5 minutes. So if 1 minute to waiting for your answer is kind of long, so you can for just one half minutes, 30 seconds, you think that, okay, I could not answer it, this is too difficult for me, just acknowledge it. You can always use the ABC formula. So if you think around, you cannot find the best answer, or the answer you cannot answer it. The answer you can get around after 30 seconds. We can always say using the ABC formula. That's my suggestions. Yes, because it's too long, then it'll be kind of awkward situation also, right? And become
Yes, actually the ABC is like the best deal about is following the next questions from
right.
Pak Zafirin. So the last questions actually from Pak Zafirin is if you are as the speaker is unable to answer what is the audience asked to ask, so what is the best way to deal with it? So Bu Ratna already
the ABC. The ABC. First of all, you need to acknowledge that we can answer, but we can give more suggestions for by regard our study. Just that, or we can follow up, we can do it in our follow up study and so on. That's a tips, I think. Important tips.
Indeed, Bu Ratna. Okay, thank you, Pak Zafirin, for the
Thank
questions.
you very much for yes, thank you.
And then for the next one, I would like to invite Bu or Mbak Ardita to deliver your questions to Bu Ratna.
Thank you for the time, Miss Dewi. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ratna. I would like to ask about sometimes the audience invites for discussions about the problems or case study in every presentation. How to give the best message in every their question in order to catch the point. I mean, is there any tricks in order we can give the best message in every their question? Thank you.
So yes, Bu Ratna.
Okay, so how to address every questions, right? How to address every question when we have, for example, several participants asking question in the question and answer sessions. Yes, basically we only can answer the one that we knew, right? I mean, the ones that after we conducted a study, for example, we do our research and we find some fact or we collect some data. That the one that we can answer based on our study, we can answer it well. Of course, we can answer it well, right? Just focus. So that's why it's important focus on our study, the result on our studies. If the questions is kind of relevant to our study, then answer it. If not relevant at all to our study, then you need to maybe the ABC formula is okay, or you can ask them to discuss further, or you can sorry. Okay.
No worries, Bu Ratna.
Okay. Or you can suggest us spatial sessions outside the forum. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the way we can deal with many questions or every question that we... Okay. Or but do you have or is my answer already really fit to your questions, or maybe you're welcome to have a following questions, please.
Mbak Ardita Dwi, so is there any feedback from the answer?
Yeah, basically,
Yes, I think it's still mute.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. How to underline all of our answers in order they can catch our points.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's the importance of answering in concise manners. I mean, concise in short. You don't need to very elaborate about the answer. You just answer right to the point where he or she asks. Then if you for example, sometimes highlighting the part that participant and question is kind of difficult, right? Then before you answer, you can confirm. Yeah. Is it what you want to ask? Like confirm the main the main message or the main message in their questions. And if we understand already, then we can address it in a brief manner, so they can understand it directly.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ratna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your questions. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mbak Dwi. Okay. Next questions. I see Pak Fauzi already raised your hand. Please, Pak Fauzi.
Yes. Good afternoon, Bu Ratna. Yes.
Good afternoon, Pak Fauzi.
I want to ask, especially when we are single on stage, yes, just so we can have a mate or friend, how to gently making note, especially when they have several questions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we have to do? Or we bring some paper, or we have an laptop. Maybe you have a trick. Or we can limiting the questioner just maybe just 1, 2, or 3 questions first, then I think it's enough, or how to gently making that. Thank you.
Okay. So I will give you the sneak peek of my table actually. So I don't know whether you're asking about the when we are in the Zoom meeting, I mean online presentation or offline presentation. Okay, let me start with the online presentation, where actually you're just facing your computer screen or your webcam and doing your presentations. And the other people also seeing by their screen. So actually you have your tables, right? And you can have some notes like what I have now. So this is I think this is the benefit of doing online presentation. You can actually have many things in your table without everybody noticing, right? So always can do some notes or and but maybe it's a little bit challenging if you do the offline presentation, when usually you maybe there's a podium prepared for you. Then it's also still it's good for you to have like a small notes to write it down. If, for example, you already stop for your presentations, the screen. I mean it's like the in focus, the in focus. Then you also can use your computer, right, to take a note. But if you are the kind of person like me, who actually are difficult to to remember many things at the same time, you can ask the audience also to ask one by one the questions one by one. It's or maybe it's easier to address it without there is some kind of additional pressure to remember all the questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Bu Ratna.
Thank you, Pak Fauzi.
Yes, hopefully it works when we are a single fighter on the stage.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fauzi. Okay, so is there any participants who would like to open the microphone again? I saw Mbak Henny previously. Are you still keeping your questions, Mbak Henny Sufianti? Okay, if you're not here yet, I'd like to read some questions that already pop up in the link. So the first question is coming from Ibu Sri. So she's asking when she's doing her presentations, her voice sometimes gets out of control. Maybe she's just too enthusiastic and gets louder. So how to handle this kind of thing, Bu Ratna?
Okay. Yes. Well, like a contradictive with me, sometimes I don't realize that my voice is becoming softer.
Getting lower.
I have become lower than the volume. Yes. Well, Well, first of all, probably the rehearsals, practice make perfect will be the best strategy. For example, you can, like I mentioned in the presentation, I explained to you about the prepare our stage, so you can do some rehearsal. You can record in the Zoom first, and then evaluate later whether there is some part in when we are doing some presentation, maybe our voice become too loud or too low to solve. That's the first. And secondly, yes, with sometimes it's difficult, right? If we don't realize it. Okay, you can sometimes we can see from the reactions of the participant. That's why it's important to always see our participants. So always see our participants when we are presenting. We're not only seeing our screen but also seeing the reactions of our participants. I guess if it's too annoying, if it's too high, I mean the volume is of our speech is too high, then we can see the reaction from the participants. Then that's kind of reminder for us. Yeah, I think at least these two will have. And if this also is a good thing if we not only have the rehearsal by Zoom or it's only our just us who doing some recording, but if we have our friends, they can help us to give more suggestions if we rehearse together. Usually the students, research students, they have like a group, like a teammate. They can share. They can, for example, when I want to have a defense, then the other people become the audience, and vice versa. When my friends want to have a defense, then me and other friends will become the audience and giving suggestions about presentations. Okay, hopefully that's answer. Yeah.
Yes, Pratna. So the first thing is maybe we can keep our eye contact with the audience so we can understand about their reactions. So if there is something happen, we can ask directly to the audience. And then the second one you mentioned about we can get along with our friends, so they will give like a code if our voice is getting lower or getting higher.
Right.
Okay. Hopefully it will answer the questions from Ibu Sri. Okay, the next questions, Ibu Ratna. It's coming from Pak Ivan. Pak Ivan, are you here? Do you want to open your microphone directly? Okay, maybe I can read the questions from Pak Ivan. So what about when during the presentations we experience a blank or nervous in the middle of the presentations, or maybe we want to urinate or want to pee? What should we do then?
Okay, yeah.
It's
okay,
common.
first of all, it's a common, yeah, because people reactions due to nervousness is can be very, I mean, every person has a specific symptom of nervousness. There's some like for example, want to go to the bathroom and like if something is blank. Yeah. Okay. Yes. If you can, for example, is if you really blank, I mean, you experience something, you cannot think. You can ask for. Okay, you can say that's okay. Please allow me, for example. First, allow me for 1 second, for example, and then you can check your materials. You can check your materials, and then you can buy sometimes to get to gather your mind again. So that's one way. So you can ask from for some one or around a half minute, like what I mentioned to myself before. So you can ask for sometimes to gather the answer. or and if it's for the presentations, then you know, if you blank, then you can using some filler words, you know, some filler words you can maybe usually people blank if they try to remember all the words, remember the text literally words by word. So if you don't remember it or you forget about several terms, then it's becoming like, okay, starting to blank and become panic. So in that situations, you can improvise. You can use more, or you can use simpler word. You can use you can paraphrase. You can explain it in different sentences in different way. So it will while using it based on my experience, while you by sometimes by explaining using the more simple using more simple sentences in that time, your mind become like reconnected, and you will remember what you want to do, what you want to say actually. So yeah, that's based on my experience. That's what I do. Usually I feel blank if I forget the exact term that I plan to say, but by doing some paraphrasings or using filler words later on, slowly I can gather, I can go back to my track, go back to what I want to say. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Buratna. Yeah, I think your paraphrasing is a good way. So maybe after we explain those paraphrasing term, maybe the audience can give us any suggestions about the thing that we forgot to say before.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they also can interact or give some clues about the words that actually maybe we forget.
Exactly.
They can help us also.
Yes, right now. Hopefully it answered the questions from Pak Ivan. And then in the chat box, this is the last questions, but the audience still can add more questions. So the next questions is coming from Pak Omi Gripo Pratomo. Okay, Pak Omi, do you want to ask Buratna directly? I see Pak Omi is here. Okay, hello Pak Omi.
Hello. Okay.
Hello, Mami.
Good afternoon, Buratna.
Okay, good afternoon, Pak. Now I can see you. Please.
The biggest one.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. I would like to ask something that really basic for a student like me. Sometimes I feel inferior when I have to deal with the part related to statistical calculations. So can you suggest me a wise way so that I can control my fear? You know, when we have to presentation for the first time in the beginning, we can have a big confidence, and then we can give the confidence will be get less when we stay part with theory, the grand theory, and then our breath will be coming tiny when we have to face something about calculation in statistical. It effective happened in me, so it's a big obstacle that I have to face it. So please give me a tips so that I can face it effectively, because I'm scheduled to have my thesis for the next years, but my body keep trembling and shaking starting from now.
Okay. Very okay. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paomi. Yes. Yes. Okay. About statistic, right? About statistic or math or calculations in our presentations. Do we need to explain it in detail or not? Probably that's your question. Because if you want to explain it in detail, then you know there's some resources that you need to prepare, right? I mean, you expect that the questions, the examiners, for example, the examiners will ask you more about the calculation in detail. Maybe you're not ready. So my tips is particularly for the thesis defense or dissertation defense or undergraduate final assignment defense, you already report all the statistical things, the mathematical things in your report, right? So actually, what you need to present is mainly the result, the methods, the detail of the calculations. You won't have much time to explain it because the time limitation. So I suggest you don't need to show the very detailed calculations. Just show the main formula. If you use the main formula, just the basic formula that you use, and then you can jump into the you can jump into the result of your study.
Interpretation, something like that.
Right, into the interpretations. If the examiner want to ask more about the calculation, for example, you can revert to your you can revert to your report, and by showing the report, actually they also read it, right? I mean, it helped by, so you will be helped by your report. So it make you less under pressure regarding the calculation, because you see the calculations, right? You see the formula, so you don't need to remember, you don't need to to explain it directly. Yes, I think that's my suggestions. Yeah, as examiner, we don't expect you to the student. From my experience personally, we don't expect the students to present in detail about the statistical analysis in the presentations. We curious more about how you use that kind of statistical approach in addressing the real problem that you want to solve. So there's no expectation for you to explain it in detail, actually, for the in the examiner point of view. So don't worry, don't be nervous. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bu Ratna. So if we are about to have the thesis defense, so please make sure that you have a good final report before you present it.
Right. Okay, because it helps you. It's like, yeah, you're saving life saving. You can always revert to the report.
Exactly, everything should be referred back to the final report that you submitted. Okay, so the questions is all already answered by Dr. Ratna. So is there any more questions from the audience? Because we still have some time.
Okay, or should we go over to the Menti before? Maybe is there any?
Okay. Yes, because there is no more questions. Maybe Bu Ratna want to share the Menti again?
Okay. Yeah, please allow me to share the Menti result again, and then let's see whether we already cover all the important issues that we have when we are doing our presentations. Improvisations, yes, improvisations. We already addressed it, right? We can study it from the good speaker, then we can adapt it for our own presentations. Okay, engaging the audience, supervisors. Supervisor should be the help. Should be help. Become will help our thesis defense usually. So where I don't think it's become in most of the case it won't be any problem, because usually he or she will help you in answering the questions, right? Okay, or at least make the point on the questions, help you in addressing the important aspect in the important part of the question. For example, the other examiners want you to ask you quite complicated or difficult questions, but probably because you are the one who presented, you cannot grasp the main idea, or maybe you're not sure how to answer it based on your study. The supervisors usually will give you a hint that actually you already addressed in this part of your study, or usually that's what they do. Okay. Okay, read the room. It means that you need to have eye contact. Okay, tight daily schedules, maybe for preparations, right? Yeah, that's a challenge for everybody nowadays. So probably we need to, yes, spare sometimes, because you know, presentation is kind of skills, right? Presentation is kind of skills. So skills gained by practice. So if you don't have much time, then that's become challenging. So you need to how to say, it's like allocate a specific time for doing the rehearsals or practice. Okay, not confident enough. Practicing will help, but if it's about the content, actually it's not for presenting the study report. Is basically if you do your study by yourself and then you write down the report well and completely, then presentation is just another way to summarize your results. So yes, no need to be that confident. You already gone through a lot of works in to coming with the thesis report, and after that you can you just need to present it in front of the examiners. Okay, what else? Language, I think. Language, yeah, if we need to present in foreign language, for example, in English or other languages, then yes, we you know, sometimes how to say, because we talked in or we present in orally, the vocabularies, how we how fluent our the language that we how fluently we are, it kind of will affect the how we deliver the question, how do we deliver the presentation. So it's also good to assess ourselves if we think that we are not confident enough in delivering in a certain language. Probably if there's other options, you can use you choose the language that you know. For example, I know several words in Chinese, but I'm not that confident if I need to do some presentation in Chinese, so it's better to present in English, although my English is not that good also. But at least I know more vocabularies in English rather than in Chinese. Okay, what else did we not addressing yet? Okay, interesting presentations. Yes, we have several guidelines in writing the presentations, the PPT, right? In the slides, we can check later. I will share the materials to the participants. Is it possible for the committee to share to the participants if they want to get the materials that I shared to you now? Is it possible? I think yes, right?
Sorry, Bu Ratna. Yes, the material will be updated in our website. So
great.
check our website at its.ac.id/international, and then you can check in the R2SEP session in the asynchronous section.
Oh, that's a very great resource in media too. So you guys, so we don't need to download it, right? You can access every time we want or we need. Okay, hopefully I already addressed all of the questions, but if you still have something in your mind and want to discuss more, then please.
Yeah, so audience, is there any questions? So yes, if there is no more questions, so Bu Ratna, thank you very much for your valuable time to share with us about the presentation skills. So just believe that our presentation skill will be better if we have more and more practice. Because yes, the presentation skill itself will be greater time by time when we have more practice about it. Okay, thank you very much, Bu Ratna. So
You're welcome, Jay.
I'll give the microphone back to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Bu Dewi, for moderating the session. And thank you, Bu Ratna, for the lively discussion today. For the participants, I would like to invite you to give a big round of applause to our speaker and moderator by using the Zoom reaction feature.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you. And we would like to present a certificate awarding to our honorable speaker and moderator. The first one is the certificate presented to our speaker, Dr. Ratna Sari Dewi. Thank you, Dr. Ratna. And next one, the certificate awarded to our moderator today, Miss Dewi.
Thank you, Mbak Nabila.
Thank you, Dewi. Once again, thank you very much to our speaker and moderator for conducting today's session. And before we wrap up the session, we would like to invite all participants, as well as our honorable speaker and moderator, to have a group photo. So please kindly turn on your camera and share your best smile with us. All right, we would like to invite you to have a group photo. So please get yourself ready. Okay, we will take twice. I will start counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much. And also, we would like to remind you to fill in the attendance form that you can see in the chat box. So you may save the link and fill in the attendance form to confirm your attendance today. All right, and before we part, I would like to inform you that we still have several future agenda for the R2SEP. Next week, we will have the last meeting for the soft engineering stream about life strategy as a researcher that will be delivered by Professor Erma Suryani from ITS Surabaya. We will meet in the next 2 weeks on 16th of December 2021 at the same time as today. Okay, that is for our program. And finally, we have reached the end of today's session. And we sincerely apologize for any mistake we may have made in presenting as Master of Ceremony and also as committee. We sincerely thank you for your active participations. Thank you so much to our speaker, moderator, and all participants for the attention and cooperation. Good evening, and we hope to see you again in our future programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you for committee. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Thank you, Bu Dewi and Bu Ratna.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day. And allow me
Thank
to
you.
end the session in 3, 2, 1.